Hey, good morning, Cornerstone. Happy Monday. We are in the middle of our Acts 28-day Bible reading challenge. We're Acts chapter 8 today. We left off yesterday with our Sunday morning service. We were talking about Stephen and how Stephen was completely all in with what God was calling him to do. And you better hope so, because what's coming next for the church is it's going to get really, really difficult. So we see right at the very start that Saul was there giving approval to his death, and then a great persecution breaks out against the church, and everybody gets scattered. Everybody goes. Do you know what's really curious? What I think is interesting is when Jesus gives them the Great Commission and he's telling them, you know, I want you to go into all the world. They're thinking, go? I've never left my hometown. We don't travel. This is not something we do. And you want me to go into the entire world? It would have blown their minds completely. But God had this in mind, because in the moment of the persecution, everybody scatters and they find themselves in new locations, new spots. And we see there, verse 4, those who have been scattered, they did what? They preached, they teached, they talked about Jesus everywhere that they went. Philip goes down to a city in Samaria. He begins to proclaim Christ, and signs and wonders followed Philip there. Now, that wasn't because Philip was particularly awesome, although my brother at home in Halifax, he's probably saying, yeah, it is because I'm awesome, because his name is Philip as well. But signs and wonders followed him because the Holy Spirit was on him, and the Holy Spirit is on us as well. And like we've been saying, the Holy Spirit leads us to do things that we can't do on our own. Great things are happening in the middle of this. I think that you and I, as followers of Jesus, we need to come to terms with the fact that God calls us to go. He does not call us to stay put, but to go and to find people who don't know about Jesus and to tell them what we know about him. It seems that's a part of the very core of who we are as followers of Jesus. And I wonder what is it that holds us back from doing that? See, the scary thing, I think, if the core part of who we are as followers of Jesus is that we go, we tell, we talk, we preach, we teach, and if we're not doing that, then what does that say about our walk with the Lord? If we have been so compelled by God's love, if we have been so moved to reorganize our lives completely around godly principles, well, why are we not taking this godly principle when God tells us to go? Why do we have a hard time going? See, to see the gospel spread, to see the gospel grow, to see lives change, you and I, we need to do more than just pray. It's not enough just to pray that people would be saved. Yeah, that's God's will, that everybody would be saved. But here we see in Acts chapter 8, Philip was so passionate that he had to share the good news everywhere he goes. He ran alongside that Ethiopian's chariot just to give him an opportunity to hear the gospel. If you and I aren't running with the gospel, we need to reevaluate what Jesus did for us. We need to get back to basics. Just a couple of questions as we close out today. As always, every day I'm wondering, what is God speaking to you about today? What is he teaching you about himself in Acts chapter 8? Question number 2, how has the gospel changed you? Make a little list. Maybe you need to wonder, how has it changed what I talk about? And then the scary question, this is question number 3. I want you to ask this of yourself. Write something in your devotional journal here. Can a person know Jesus and not have a desire to share Jesus? Flesh that one out. Let it bother you. Let it convict you. Let it bring you to a new spot in him. All right, keep checking in with us tomorrow. We're on to Acts chapter 9. We're all about Saul getting saved, but we're not going to talk about Saul. It's going to be a good one. We'll see you tomorrow morning.